For me, one of the biggest things which I think makes a huge difference, and I hope that it will continue to make a difference over the next 20 years, is as we see more women in leadership positions. The reality is that we all judge normal on what we see. And so if we don't see women as leaders, then we don't consider that normal. And it's lovely to see more women taking the reins at companies, taking the reins in politics, so that we can actually show our younger women that actually these are things that they can aspire to, and these are normal. This is our new normal.
So in 20 years' time, I think we're going to see a huge difference in the language that people are equipped with. We're in a world now where social media and communication has spread hugely already in a very short period of time. Think about how much more that's going to be the case in 20 years, how many people from around the world are going to be having conversations with each other. The type of terminology that we're seeing from a very small group of people, which is still very young, will be spread all over the place, and people experiencing different inequalities will be sharing their stories of how to tackle them. And I think what we will see in the future is that equality or tackling inequality will always be intersectional, because the way in which people communicate and share stories and experiences will be so much more prolific than it is now. So I think we're going to see a real change in when people say equality, they're not going to say which issue, women, race, sexuality, they're going to say all of them, because that's the only option there'll be.
So I guess in answering that question, I come from a position of being an eternal optimist. So my answer is what I hope will be the most impactful change in the area of equality in 20 years' time. I think we need to confront the realities of our world today, and given what's happening around the world, I think inevitably what will change is that women will feel the need to be more engaged in politics, and I feel that women will need to be heard more, so the power of storytelling and our voice having a greater platform. And I think that is, together with data, and innovation and technology, I think the power of women to tell their stories, to bring the human face of what challenges we face, that is going to be the key to changing things. What I really hope in 20 years' time will be the change is that there will be equal access for good quality education for all girls and boys, because I think the key to equality lies in those seeds of education and information. That is a human right for all of us.
The question about equality and gender equality is a very important issue which we are discussing here at Wilton Park. The dialogue is also showing us that this is a concept which exists in a very fragile reality. We must continue to support women, to support the cause for women inclusion in education, in professional as well as political spheres. One of the outcomes in 20 years or so would be achieved if more women become role models, so that others can learn from real examples and understanding that what may seem as an impossible dream to some can actually be done.
So for me, I just want to see a generation that balances everything, so the boys are really good in taking care of the girls. You know, sometimes we don't see that we are creating an imbalance, because we focus more on girls, these girls start, and then the boys are left out. And again, I'm afraid there is going to be another imbalance, which we are not going to afford balancing again. So for me, in 20 years' time, I'm assuming that we'll have a generation of boys and girls, matured men and women, helping each other, having their gender roles playing right, so that they equally benefit, equal pay for equal job, so that women and young girls are not discriminated, and the boys and the men are really take care of the girls and the women. So that's a kind of, we need to work. Of course, it's a gradual process. It's a change of mindset and attitude, which you don't get it turning overnight. It's a process. But again, as I said, we have to work at that balance level, so that if the men are empowered, the boys are empowered, definitely the young girls are really taken care of. You don't see any kind of early marriage. You don't see any kind of rape, harassment, and all this, because the boys are going to take care of the girls. The men are going to take care of the women. Then we see a world of equality.